and welcome to this morning's session. So last week I focused on what you might call the energetic aspect of posture and why the position of your feet is so important. And obviously there are a couple of people who do Qigong, watch these videos, who are in the idea of standing for any length of time, or even standing at all, is basically impossible. So what I want to address today is how you can maximise the benefits of what you do even when you're seated. Because obviously when you are standing, in very simple physical terms, Qigong becomes a weight-bearing exercise, which we all know that that's good for you. When you're seated, it's not quite so easy. So, how can you maximise the benefits if you have to sit? Well, the first thing is you can make sure that you sit in the best possible posture. So that is, just my stool a bit. So very still, feet are hip width apart. I'm going to move the carpet because it meant I couldn't put my feet flat on the floor. And get your feet flat on the floor. Still have your feet parallel and the hip width apart. And that way, let's just pull my trousers up so you can see my lower legs properly. That way your feet are flat, so your ankles, which I don't often talk about, are in their natural position. And by having your feet a hip width apart, you're making sure that your hips are not having stress put on them. Because even when you're seated, if you've got your legs in funny positions or whatever, that does put stress on your hips. Now, one of the things that we do during a regular standing Qigong set, and I'm going to stand up just for a moment to show you this, so my head's going to vanish, is there are moves where I tell you to take your weight slightly more on one knee and then take your weight slightly more on the other knee. The painting rainbows is one where your arms are up here. I know you can't see that properly, but you dip slightly on your left knee and your right arm uncurls like that. I will now sit down so you can see me properly. So obviously when you're seated, your weight is always going to be evenly distributed. You can't really put your weight anywhere else than through your spine onto the seat. But you can still get some benefit from the feet and ankle aspect of the moves. So with painting rainbows, you get your arms up where you're comfortable. Whereas with standing form, I take my weight slightly more on my left knee and lower my right arm. You can't really put more weight on your left knee, but what you can do is reduce the weight on your right knee by raising your heel slightly. Can you see what I'm doing? Maybe I'll turn slightly sideways so you can see I'm doing it with my left knee now. Just raising my heel slightly off the floor. Yes, you can see that. And so when in a move I'm saying, put slightly more weight on your left knee, you have to think slightly backwards, and when I say left, think right, Just raise your right heel off the floor. And what that does is it gives that exercising two halves of your body at the same time feel that you get when you're standing, and you dip on one side and use the opposite arm. It also does give a little stimulation, possibly, to that bubbling well point that I spoke about yesterday. But it's nice, gentle movement. It means that you are still getting some nice, gentle movement in your ankles, in your knee, and possibly a tiny amount in your hip, but probably not an awful lot. But it's better than just sitting there and doing nothing. So, although obviously you get the maximum benefit from Qigong when you are standing, weight bearing, and able to change your weight by dipping the one knee, you can get the same effect, energetically speaking, by raising the heel of one foot and then raising the heel of the other, as long as you're doing it with the breath, exactly as you would do the weight change. Now, I know there are a small subset of people whom, they are wheelchair bound and have very, very limited movement. The thing is, if you can't do physically what I'm suggesting that you do, and I always say it's not about doing moves perfectly, it's about doing them perfectly for you, reacting to what your body is physically capable of doing. Maybe it's got a temporary issue, maybe the issue is permanent, doesn't really matter. As long as you are doing what your body is happy to do, you won't be doing yourself any harm. And by knowing what you should be doing in an ideal world, if you can't do it, literally just imagine that you are doing it. Because the whole point of these moves is to move your energy around. Now, we do this in various ways. We do it physically with the movements of arms and legs. We do it with the breath, and by coordinating the movement with the breath, you kind of get a smoother flow of energy. But the one aspect I don't talk about too much is what you do with your eyes and your imagination. So again, we'll talk about painting rainbows. Something I will sometimes say in my classes, when I've got an experienced class, is as you lower your hand down, just follow the palm of your hand with your eyes as your hand moves up and down. Because where you look also determines where the energy flows. And when you're looking at something like that, you're actually imagining it. Now, some of you will know I'm also a hypnotherapist, or I have training in hypnotherapy techniques. And I know better than anyone else probably how powerful your imagination is. So, even if you are watching this video and part of your mind is thinking, oh, I would just absolutely love to be able to get anywhere close to that, whether it's standing up straight or being able to sit with your feet on the floor, what I would like to tell you to do is just imagine that that's what you were doing. I know some people will be watching this and their feet will be on the footrest wheelchair? Well, the wheelchair, that footrest can be your faux floor. And I know you probably won't be able to, change the position of your heels, but just imagine that you're lifting one heel slightly and then letting it relax, and lifting the other heel slightly and then letting it relax, because your body will respond to that imaginary energetic symbol in the same way as it does when you do it physically. So however little or much you can do of what I'm suggesting you do physically in these videos, you can still maximize the benefits by using one of the most powerful tools we all have, and that's what's going on in your brain. And to be honest, that same thing is true even for those of you who are able to stand up and duplicate the moves that I do quite closely. If you imagine the energy flowing into your hands, and imagine your hands scooping up energy into the top of your head, which is effectively what you're doing with the painting rainbows move, it will help it happen. And that's really what Qigong is about. It's about helping your body to maximize its resources, to make the best use of them while minimizing potential harm, which is one reason why one of the first things I always tell people is, whatever you do, don't do anything that makes you feel painful or uncomfortable. If you've got a bit of a dodgy knee, and it doesn't like having, sort of too much weight put on it, they're fine. Don't put too much weight on it. It means you sit down, then sit down. Nothing you do during these sessions should ever cause any pain or discomfort. And if it does, you shouldn't do it like that. You need to rein back what you do so you can do it in the best way for you while not causing yourself any harm. I know that many people with different abilities watch these videos. I try to make them inclusive for everybody. I normally work standing up. And but mainly because I know that's better for my body. At the moment, some of you will know I had an accident and fractured a toe, and it was doing quite well. Then I ended up standing up for quite a long time on Thursday night. So I'm going to be doing this seated this morning because I know that that's what my body needs. But I'm going to roll up my trouser legs so that you can clearly see what I'm going to be doing with my ankles and knees during the moves. The only move where what I've been saying about raising your heel is important is actually for the session, because what I teach today is the rainbow move. Okay? Some of you will know that because you come to my classes that there are other moves where I'm advising you to dip on one knee. At the same principle applies. If you can't dip on one knee, then raise the opposite ankle. So, whether you're sitting or standing, I'd like you to take a moment to get yourself into the best possible posture. So that's back nice and straight, neck nice and straight. Try to make sure that the top of your head is pointing up at the sky. Take a moment to just close your eyes and just breathe. And as you breathe, tune into what your body needs this morning. Maybe this morning it's feeling good, and you know you're going to be able to, get quite close to doing it ideally. Maybe this morning, and like me, you know that your body's going to restrict what you can do. Just tune in and see what your body wants to do today. If you like, you can also maybe do a quick check and see what your mind's doing. And maybe get a feeling of how you need to feel at the end of the day, at the end of this session. And then close your eyes. I'd like you to imagine that you're in that beautiful glass lift cage. Looking out at a beautiful scenery. Slowly, the lift car starts to sink down, going down floor by floor, until it reaches the ground. Get your hands hanging loosely by your side. And then with your next in-breath, just slowly let your arms float up in front of you. As you breathe out, that's the signal to let them slowly sink back down. And you move your arms as far as you can easily manage in one gentle, easy breath. Find your own breath, your own rhythm, your own range of movement. Do what works for you. Breathe in, let your arms float up. Breathe out, just let them sink back down. And then last time for this move, breathe out, your hands sink down at the bottom, relax and let go. And with your next in-breath, let your hands float up. Turn your palms in and let them spread out. And as you breathe out, the hands float back in together and then sink down. As you breathe in, feel your chest and lungs expanding. Breathe out, feel them relaxing. As you breathe in, maybe feel the expansion in your back that almost pulls your arms apart. As they relax, everything just comes back in together quite naturally. Maybe as you breathe in, you can imagine you breathe in positive feelings. As you breathe out, imagine you breathe out stress or tension like gracefully. Use this move to fill yourself and your lungs with good feelings. As you breathe out, get rid of any stress or tension like gracefully. Breathe in, your arms float up and then spread apart. As you breathe out, they float back in and back down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out, let your hands sink down. And then with your next in-breath, bring your arms up, ready to paint rainbow. As you breathe out, take the weight slightly more on your left foot or raise your right heel and let your right arm just unfurl. As you breathe in, Everything goes back to the centre. And then do the same on the other side. If you can, just follow the palm of your hand with your eyes. And if you like, you can imagine that you've got rainbow coloured paint on your fingers, but you're actually painting a rainbow. Breathe out, one hand floats down, and as you breathe in, it comes back up. And do the same on the other side. And raise my right heel and my right arm uncurls. Breathe in, hand comes up and the heel floats down. And then last time for this move. Breathe in, everything comes to the top. And turn your palms out as you breathe out. Let your arms float down all the way down to the bottom. As you breathe in, they rise all the way up to the top again, as high as you can easily get them. Don't stretch. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And every time your hands sweep down, I'd like you to imagine you're pushing away any clouds that surround you. Very aware of your shoulders as you do this move. Don't stretch up. Your shoulders should be nice and relaxed. Breathe in, your arms float up. You breathe out, they sweep down by your side. Rise up once more. Breathing out, sweeping away any last clouds. And then last time for this move, breathe out. Just let your hands sink down. And bring your hands up into position, just in front of your abdomen, ready to balance your chin. As you breathe in, smooth around that imaginary ball, and as you breathe out, the hands float down. Keep this move very small. Take your hands no higher than your heart. And that ball of energy, you smooth around it and then squash it down, getting it back into place where it should be. Breathe in, smooth around the ball. Breathe out, imagine you're pushing it underwater maybe. Breathe in, breathe out. And then last time, breathe in, breathe out, and just let your hands come to rest in front of your abdomen. Just for a moment, little stand in the best posture. And just let everything settle. And then get some water. I'd like you to get yourself settled into where you'd like to do the meditation. So get yourself seated or lying down, or maybe even standing, as comfortably as you can. Try to make sure that your posture is nice and straight. If you're sitting and you've got a chair back, if you can, sit away from the back of the chair so that you're self-supporting. Because mindfulness is not about, well, it is about relaxation, actually it's about awareness. And falling asleep during a mindfulness meditation isn't always helpful as it might seem. So when you've got yourself settled, take a moment to make sure that you're not getting any signals of stress from any part of your body. If you are, just adjust your position. And I'd like to invite you to listen to the sound of singing bowl. And I'm going to sound it 3 times, and third time I'm going to let the sound go away naturally, and I would like you to follow that sound into the silence. Follow the sound into the silence. And let your attention move inwards. Become aware of the support that your body is getting from the bed or the chair or the floor. Become very aware of the touch of the bed, chair or floor on your body and how it supports you. Maybe note any contrasting textures that you're aware of. And then let your attention move further in and let your attention rest with your breathing. And just be aware of every in-breath and every out-breath. Because right here, right now, nothing else matters except just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. What do you notice about each breath? Is there one part of your breath that stands out more than any other? If there is, just let your attention rest with that. Now it's quite likely there's part of your mind that's thinking, oh, I've got other things to do, or this is happening, that happened. And your mind is quite likely to get distracted. Well, that's quite normal. And if that happens, I don't want you to tick yourself off and think, oh, I'm no good at this. When you notice that your mind's wandered off, I want you to congratulate yourself for noticing what your mind is doing. And then gently lead your mind back to focusing once more on every in-breath and every out-breath. Because mind's a mental thing. And mindfulness isn't about clearing your mind, it's about noticing what your mind is doing. And focusing your mind on something that is neutral, not distracting. It's right here, right now, whatever else might be going on at different times and places. All that matters now is just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. All that matters is just this breath and this moment. And maybe you're aware of air moving in your nose or throat. Maybe you're aware of muscles moving in your chest or in your abdomen. But right now, can you become aware of that moment of stillness that happens in between each breath? That moment when nothing moves. Don't change your breath in any way. Certainly don't hold your breath. But can you become aware of that brief moment of stillness? And an in-breath becomes an out-breath. And then an out-breath becomes an in-breath. And just for a moment, everything is still. And you notice how that stillness feels. Our stillness is something that can be hard to find in a busy world. But that moment of stillness happens hundreds of times every day, whether you're aware of it or not. So use your breath to anchor yourself into that moment of stillness. Use your breath as an anchor to help you find that moment of stillness whenever you need it. And I'd like you to start letting your attention move outwards again. Let your attention move from your breath to your body. Maybe notice the space that your body takes up. And maybe notice your skin and your clothes, which form the natural interface between your body and the space it takes up in the rest of the room. Then become aware of the room and any sound inside or outside this room. Then I'm going to ask you to listen to the sound of the singing bowl again. As it sounds for the third time, bring yourself back to normal awareness. As you bring yourself back to normal awareness, keep in the front of your mind the idea that you can take this good feeling and find that moment of stillness anytime you need to by anchoring your attention into your breath. Okay, that was a slightly shorter meditation than normal because I spent longer talking at the beginning of the video. I hope you found everything I said enjoyable, helpful. If you have any questions, you know where to post them. If you've got any suggestions for what you'd like me to cover in next week's video, then please, feel free to contact me. Next week I may very well focus on the hands, which are actually a very important part of Qigong, even though I very rarely talk about them. So I'll probably talk about that in greater depth next week. In the meantime, thank you for being with me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.